Alright, you beautiful human beings, what is up and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be breaking down Dricus Du Plessis versus Sean Strickland at UFC 297. Hope you guys are all doing well. You know how we are on this channel. We're 100% in breakdowns, 70% in predictions. So I'm going to do my best job in trying to break these guys down for you guys. Now, this is a very interesting matchup, and you know, we've seen it once already, right? Jokingly so, but we saw it in the stands, right? We saw their little brawl before UFC 296. And guys, let me know what your thoughts on that was. But in my opinion, I thought Sean Strickland kind of got the better of him, landing some hard shots and hard elbows to the back of his head. But keep in mind that in that little scuffle, Dricus also took him down. And it took a little while for Sean to get back up, am I right? So that could be a little telling for what we're going to see in this fight. However, I'm going to break this thing down for you guys brick by brick. So guys, please stay patient with me. I'm going to try and not take too long on this video. I want to make it very insightful though. So I'm going to do my best job to break down not only the styles of each fighter, but the stances that they bring into the matchup and how they match up with each other. And then I'm going to maybe give you guys my official prediction at the end. But we're going to look at the film. We're going to look at two separate fights. We're going to look at Dricus Du Plessis versus Brad Tavares, some clips from that, some clips from his Robert Whittaker fight as well. And then we're also going to study Sean Strickland's fight with Jared Cannon, as well as a little bit of his fight with Magomedov as well. I think those are all going to be kind of the best telling of how these people like to fight, and I think you guys are going to be able to see what I see very clearly in this video. So guys, thank you for stopping by my video today. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. If you want to support me further, then be sure to give this video a thumbs up, leave your thoughts down below, and of course subscribe and hit that bell icon as well to be notified when more videos similar to this one come out in the future. I'm gonna also tune into my brand new podcast, The Will versus the Way. We're on episode I think like 23. We're gonna be having some amazing guests on, exciting guests on soon. We've already had our first guest. It was an amazing show, so go ahead and check out episode 22 if you are interested. With that being said, let's go ahead and get right into the video. Alright guys, so the first thing we have to do here is look at what these guys bring to the table, right? So they're around the same height, around the same weight, right? I think Sean Strickland is naturally just a smaller guy because he used to fight at welterweight. He was able to get down to the weight. However, some people don't know this, but Dricus was also a welterweight at one point in time, so he shouldn't be that much bigger than Sean Strickland. I think Sean Strickland, because he doesn't have the muscles as everyone else, he's seen to be a little bit smaller than everyone. But I think it's more the style and how he portrays himself for why people think that. Now, Dricus, do I think he's a little bit bigger? Yes, I think he's definitely more filled out, has more muscle, and definitely has more power behind his shots. But I think that has more to do with his style, and we're going to go into that, than just his plain old physique. Now, they have the same reach, which is very interesting, and this is another thing that's going to play a big factor into this. They both have a 76-inch reach. Now, Sean Strickland pretty much strictly fights orthodox because he has a bad leg, which is the one that he usually keeps on the ground, which is another thing we're going to be looking at, while Dricus is a switch hitter. And if you don't know what that term is, it means he likes to switch stances, bistance, if you will. And he has his different setups that he likes in each stance, so we're going to be going over that as well. They both like to bring a pace and a pressure. Sean Strickland's is more of a methodical approach, while Dricus Du Plessis likes to just bring carnage and damage right off the gate. Sean Strickland likes to pepper his opponents with various different shots using these like kung fu style frames and things like that, and over time he creates a really big pace, while Dricus, on the other hand, all of his motions are kind of big and drawn out, right? Sean Strickland has a lot of little motions like kung fu blocks and multiple jabs and things like that, while Dricus is more of a crashing forward style. He likes to intercept his opponents. He likes car crashes to take place with, and it's almost like a karate style as well. It's a switch hitter karate style type of deal. Their accuracy for their significant strikes, Dricus is a little bit more accurate, nearing out at 60%, but again, that's because he likes the big motions. Dricus and then as far as takedowns, the stats are a little bit misleading. Sean doesn't really go for many takedowns, except for Jared Cannonier, which was interesting, and we're gonna talk about that as well. And Dricus, he tries to take down every single opponent, averages about 3 takedowns a fight, 50% accuracy. He has good wrestling. He goes for submissions, he goes for finishes while at any point in the fight, and so that's what makes this fight. We're gonna try and put on a war for us. And so I think we're very lucky to be getting matched this. The rest of the card is a little bit but there's some good fights like Mike Malott, Arnold Allen. Now some guys I want to watch. The title fight, bantamweight title fight, and not too high on that. Dominic Reyes versus Carlos Ulberg. Yeah, it's a good card. I'm gonna give you my full card predictions probably on the Will vs. the Way, the podcast. But as of now, let's go ahead and get into some film study. So first order of business will be to break down the challenger. Now, in order to get the best, I think, look at the challenger, you know who always brings out the best in their opponents? Brad Tavares. If you watch, he doesn't always win, right? But if you watch his fights with Izzy or anyone else, he brings out their style. He makes them fight a fight completely showing everything that they have, right? It'll be a war usually. If not, like I said, he gives you a good tale. So I think that this is one of the best fights to watch if you want to know what Dricus' style is. And the reason is because you can see a lot of what he likes to do as far as switch hitting. So one thing Dricus likes to do, which we're gonna see in this, is that he likes a lot of backside attacks, right? So he's primarily orthodox, even though he switches stances, but he likes the karate blitz. So he likes to push off the back leg, leading with his right hand, and then coming over the top with his left hand. Now, this is going to be very dangerous going against Sean Strickland, or very dangerous for Sean Strickland, considering he likes the little kung fu blocks in the frames. And we're going to get into more about Sean Strickland, how it matches up with him. But first, I just want you guys to see what I'm talking about. So you see he's currently switching, right? This is the second round. But you see how he'll switch, throw the back leg, and then he'll switch, throw the back hand, and then follow up with the second strike, which is usually the one that he wants to land power with. Bang, right there. You saw that? Let's go back a little bit. 1, 2, and then he tries to finish off round. Of course, he's out of range, he's leaning. That's what a lot of people don't like. They don't like the fact that he overextends himself sometimes. But what you got to realize is him doing that makes him only longer, right? He's already tall. He has a 76-inch reach, which isn't bad. You see how Brad Tavares just didn't back up enough because he expected it to be a little shorter. But it's actually hard to fight guys like that. It's hard, especially when they're throwing straight punches. It's hard to actually connect with their face with anything other than a straight punch if you're not dodging their straight attacks. I mean, try punching someone, right? That is literally hitting you in the face fully extended. Like, usually you're gonna come short or not even clip the chin that might be in the air. But as you can see, it's a lot of crashing forward styles or crashing forward sequences. He's trying to meet his opponent and Brad Tavares, and then he'll throw straight punches into round punches. Now, another thing that we should see from him is not only his blitz, but the way he likes to set up takedowns. So he'll blitz, he'll crash forward, and if you crash with him, there's his entry for the takedown, right? As you can see right here, right? He threw a lot of heavy shots. He got hit with one too, but then he gets right into the takedown. Now, Sean Strickland has good takedown defense, especially against the cage, so I'd like to see him try and do this in the open field or open octagon, right? Not on the cage. Dricus also takes advantage of these, man. He's always trying to do damage, and he wants to damage you first. A bad lat drop right here put him on the mat, which was very stupid. He talked about that. He talked about that not being what he's about, and that's why he did what he did to Till. He has good defense though. He ends up getting back to his feet and trying to wrestle again. Another thing about Dricus, people say he gets tired. First off, we have to remember his nose is fixed, right? So he's getting quality air and quality breathing. I think we saw the result of that against Robert Whittaker. But also the fact that even though he wasn't getting quality air, he looked tired. Did his pace ever really stop? No, it didn't. And that's something you have to think about, because against Sean Strickland, people get tired and their volume drops. We never see a drop in volume from Dricus. He's very unorthodox, and he's going to continue fighting no matter how fatigued he feels, right? Fighters a lot of times are emotional and they fight off a feeling. If they're not feeling like they have the energy to go on, they're just gonna sit back and use footwork and stuff like that. But he's constantly going. He's always dangerous and ready to strike, and so that's a very good trait with him. He got a little sloppy in this fight for sure. He definitely got a little sloppy, but he mixes in the grappling. He's a mixed martial artist, right? He's not a pure striker. He's not a pure grappler. He has very good awareness of the grappling and where his body's at, which is why he was able to do to Robert Whittaker what he was able to do. And with me saying that, let's actually tune into his fight with Robert Whittaker, because it's very interesting. if you see how Robert Whittaker was trying to deal with his style, right? Robert Whittaker is also, he also uses like a karate blitz forward style. So it's very interesting to see the contrast in their style. Robert's very heavy on the jab right now, keeping everything straight and trying to be first. One thing I wanted to see from Robert Whittaker in this fight was lateral movement, which he actually showed very well in the first round. Right now he's trying to get Dricus on the back foot. Dricus is being a little stubborn, not wanting to be there, switching. And something that you'll see out of Dricus is that he likes to throw his hands after he throws a kick, right? So that was a beautiful setup from Robert Whittaker. Look how he throws a jab, oh god, side kick into a jab into a double leg. That was a beautiful setup, but it's hard for Rob to hold him down. Dricus is so big, he has good awareness of where he's at. He has good grappling, guys. He has really good grappling. He gets back to the feet, looking for big kicks. Sometimes he'll throw kicks just blank, right? But it's all for a purpose. He wants to see how you're reacting to the kick, what signs you're giving him, and he's reading you as he's throwing these strikes, right? That was a nasty jab. That's the one he actually knocks him out with. He's comfortable in both stances. He uses both of them. He uses the jab from both of them. There's nothing really he does in one stance that he doesn't do in the other. And another thing he likes is that high guard that you just saw, which I think is also a big thing going into this Sean Strickland fight. But he'll throw these big kicks, and you see how his hands were ready to throw. Look at this. He's gonna throw a big kick. He thinks he's in range, and then his hands are ready to throw. You see how it's cocked and loaded? He's ready in case someone wants to enter in off of that, alright? And we can actually go back to the Brett Tavares fight to see more on that, because he does that a lot. You see how he just ran into that leg kick and then started throwing. Yep, I think that this is actually going to be something that works very well for him in the Sean Strickland fight. Why? Because Sean Strickland, he shows a lot of his defense, right? He doesn't just use the Philly shell. He mixes those in, yes, but mainly he's looking to parry, right? He's looking to kung fu block. He's looking to frame and parry. Look at this entry from Du Plessis, and look at what he does. We're gonna get back to Sean in a second, but look at what he does with this. Looks for a Dars to get his back to the mat. Now he's straight looking for elbows. Damage. Attack, attack, attack. Okay, let me control a little bit. Still attacking while controlling. He's gonna get back into that Dars scenario to where he's gonna Dars, get his back to the mat because he's defending the Dars, and then look for those elbows again. He's putting Robert Whittaker in a sequence right now. Look how heavy he is on the legs. This is why Robert Whittaker got fatigued. Past his guard. Again, looking for the guillotine. Now he's going to be looking for the Dars. Look how Robert Whittaker reacts to this. He's going to put that back on the mat, and Dricus is going to look for his elbows. That's what is fatiguing about Dricus. Always looking for damage. Someone always in your face. Someone who's heavy on top of your legs, weighing on your legs. Your legs are the biggest muscle in your body. If someone can fatigue your legs, your cardiovascular system is going to be taxed because of it. So let's look at the difference between the first round and the second round with Robert Whittaker. Rob's not coming forward as much, right? Ate that leg kick, now he's wary of it. That's a good little combination. One thing Dricus does lack, however, is great footwork moving backwards. I think that if Sean could get him going straight back, there are opportunities to where he could catch him, but because he uses that high guard like we just saw, it's hard to land a clean shot in his face when he's going backwards. So you might actually want to see Sean do something like throw a number of punches upstairs and then finish downstairs, then look to go back up. But you know, it's easier said than done. Guys, let me know how you're liking the breakdown right now. Let me know your picks for UFC 297, who y'all got in this as we finish breaking this down. Yeah, Rob's a little bit more looking to counter now. There you go. Yeah, he's not finishing it though. He needs to get those combinations to back him all the way up to the cage. Short combinations into the bigger ones to finally land your damage. Oh, that's a tough body kick. That one landed right in between the guard. Sometimes he does throw those kicks out of range though. You don't like to see that, but just fighting these awkward guys it's a tough thing to do, man. Bang. Now he's gonna stay southpaw. He's reaching with that jab a little bit. Oh my god. Damn, yeah, he timed that blitz. That's a car crash right there. That right hand is deadly, man. And one of the things about his style also, we're done watching this, but one of the things about his style also is the fact that both hands are lethal. Because even though he's switching, they're both power hands, which is what is very interesting about the karate blitz. Same thing with Wonderboy Thompson. Both of his hands are dangerous because he's gonna throw the cross first, but it almost acts as a jab to then set up the power left, which was his jab hand, so it can throw you off and different things like that. But all right, now let's move on to Sean and breaking down his fights and how he likes to fight. So here's the one we're gonna start out with, the Cannonier fight. One thing about Sean Strickland is he fights different, with each opponent, with each style, right? We've heard him talk about how, oh, Izzy is like a point fighter or whatever, and he approached him that way, right? We heard how he talked about going against Alex Pereira, how he's gonna hit you and you can't fight him the same way you're gonna fight a guy like Izzy. And so he approached him that way in sparring. Now, he didn't approach him that way in the fight, which is why he got slept, but he now has that realization of, oh shit, this guy can crack. And look how he approaches this Cannonier fight. He's not starting off with any immediate kind of pressure. He's wary. He wants to make sure he sees these things coming. Look at what he's doing. Now, I don't have any preconceived opinions about this matchup, but look at this. So he throws a kick, and obviously it's defended, right? Now look what he does. Goes to the body, and you see Sean Strickland's frames here. This is what he likes to do, right? He parries. He uses this Philly shell. You see his shoulder right here. But he's going to the body in order to open this up, right? Because one thing Sean Strickland, he leaves open is his body, right? With this stance, he's not actually turned over. He has a Philly shell, but he kind of keeps it straight up with you, and you can see his whole torso. Look at how his shoulders are squared and everything is facing. This opens up your body. This is why Nasruddin Imavov was able to land those push kicks, and Abus was able to land those push kicks and things like that, because that's what you do against a guy who's standing square to you. You hit him in the body, and because he's hitting him in the body, he gets these reactions, these frames out of it, and he tries to come up top. Now, of course, it's early in the fight, he doesn't get it, but that's something to look at, right? And let's see how Sean adjusts to that. See how he's still sticking it out. He either tries to meet you with a jab, or he tries to frame and cross block. Very, very unique style, very difficult puzzle to try and solve, but it is one that's solvable. Good teep. He also stands very tall. Look at how tall Sean Strickland is standing right now. This is gonna be key going into this Dricus fight, because Dricus is going to be looking to try and use this to take him down. Anytime someone has their legs this close together, it's recipe disaster for a double leg takedown. Now, we know Sean Strickland has a good ground game, good wrestling, but just in this stance, just by the way he stands, he's open for the takedowns. He's open not only for the takedowns, but for the straight shots to the body. So, guys, I know I'm breaking it down right now, but we're gonna finish off. After I'm done breaking down Sean Strickland, we're gonna end up finishing off this video with keys to victory for each guy, right? So I want to talk about what each fighter, what they're gonna have to do in order to win this fight based off of their style and how they like to fight, just so that y'all understand why I'm saying the things that I am. So guys, please stay around for that, because that is gonna be probably the most informative part of the video. Now we see him start trying to add up on the jab, throwing that lead teep. And I think that teep is going to be good and a key factor in stifling Dricus's blitzes. Anything up the middle like that, even a side kick would be very good. The side kick to the knee that Robert Whittaker used was also very good at just stifling that forward pressure and keeping yourself safe from those blitzes. But you look how he's approaching Jared differently because of the power. He's still framing, but he stands so super tall. Wants to keep him away with that teep, and he's not moving forward as he would against a guy who doesn't have that kind of power, right? He started off right off the bat closing that distance against Izzy, partially because of the reach, and that's why he did the Alex Pereira one too. But they're gonna have the same reach here, so it's not gonna be clear on if he should close the distance or if he should stay on the outside. He's gonna have to figure that out in the fight, which is why I can see Dricus starting to push the pace early. Another thing that tall stance leaves him open for are those leg kicks. Even though he checks a lot of them, you can see it right there. Even though he checks a lot of them, I mean, if you're checking a kick, you're gonna be on one leg. If you're in that stance, you're already open for the leg kick, so it's just late for you to even check it, right? But if you do get the check, good for you. While you're checking, you're also open for a takedown. You're also open for different things like that as well, like setting up your hands off of your kicks, like we saw Jared Cannonier trying to do as well. So I think we've seen enough of that Jared Cannonier fight. Now let's go ahead and we're gonna watch Sean Strickland's fight with Abus, because I want to also highlight what he does very well and why Abus's style, even though it was good for against Sean Strickland's style. Let's see what Abus saw, right? So he starts off right off the bat, teeps, switching stances and teeping, right? Going after that lead leg. I can very well see Dricus coming out like this as well. Maybe not as hard, but I could definitely see this. It definitely not so many strikes in one, like, you know, so early. A little bit more patient, but those teeps, you see how every single one of those teeps landed? That's gonna get reactions. See, now that lead hand is dropping. But Sean he's staying patient. And that's one thing about him, is he's a patient fighter. He's gonna look for his openings as well, but he's looking to add up the strikes. There's no one knockout punch with Sean Strickland. He'll hurt you because it's 4-ounce gloves, but then he's looking to pile it on. Look at those reactions that you saw from that kick. See how his hands are in different places because he's anticipating that kick? That's what Dricus is gonna look for. Abus is also trying to slip off that jab. My bad, guys. Slip off that jab and look for that cross. But right here, Dricus is switching. This was a fight with Dricus. Dricus is switching. He's feinting. And he's trying to create those crashing scenarios. He wants you to come forward. That way, he has more power when he throws. But like I said, Sean Strickland standing so tall is why he is open for all these teeps. Now, I also want to show when Abus ends up taking him down. So let's go ahead and look at that. One thing about Sean Strickland's style, and why he, matter of fact, actually, before we look at him taking him down, and why it's so effective against Abus, is because Abus might enter with a straight shot, but then he's looping everything, right? Dricus, on the other hand, he throws multiple straight shots in concession, so these frames actually might get Sean into trouble, right? He will eventually, when you're trying to circle out, finish off with a hook, which is good, but I think just the straightness and the longness of Dricus, that might serve as a problem if Sean is backing straight up like how he was doing. Now let's go ahead and look at when Sean got taken down and why he got taken down. Because I think, bang, just off that straight stance, it was an easy shot, easy opportunity. Bang, got him down. Dricus is heavy right here, and he's not going to be looking to take the back. He's going to stay on top of you and punch you like he did Darren Till. Do we remember that? Do we remember how he did Darren Till? I mean, yeah, he just kept him there for like 4 minutes, punched him up in the face. That's what Dricus is going to be looking to do. So, guys, we've done the film study. We see what guy likes to do. Now, I definitely want to break this one down, give you guys my thoughts and opinions about it, and how I think this one is going to play out. So guys, as far as each fighter's keys to victory, starting off with a challenger in Dricus Du Plessis, still knocks the South African. I'd say that it's very important, Dricus, to feint early. Very early, he needs to be feinting, getting those reads, seeing where Sean Strickland's frames are going to be. Even if Sean is starting off right away to pressure you, frame, kick the legs, get those checks out of him, get him in a rhythm, and get him doing what he's used to doing, right? Because it's his own style that presents the issues that Dricus can capitalize off of, right? So feint early and throw heavy kicks. That way, Dricus can set up his hands with his kicks. And I think that's going to be imperative. Yes, he has the car crashes that he needs to start and do early. He needs to create those car crash scenarios. But I think that the bread and butter here is gonna, yes, while Sean Strickland is defending those car crashes, those straightforward blitzes, he's using footwork to circle outside of it. I think also kicking him high to get his hands blocking, kicking him low to get his hands extended, get him extending that lead hand like we saw him do many times against Cannonier and all his other fights as well, in order to land the hands. So fake kicks into hands, throw high kicks or low kicks into your hands. He's a switch hitter, so he is going to be looking to do these sort of things. And also off of those crashes, because we know we like those crash styles, right? Because Sean Strickland stands so tall, it's almost imperative that you grapple with him. Why fight Sean Strickland where he is best? And he is best, and where he wants to be is on the feet. Why do that? Mix it up. Create those car crashes. When Sean Strickland tries to stand in with you, that's where your opportunities for your wrestling is. And then stay heavy on top, get his legs tired, fatigue him. I think we can see Still Knox getting it done if he can do all these things. However, on the flip side, for the champion, weirdly enough, Sean Strickland, his keys to victory and what he needs to do in order to win this fight is, first order of business is to come out in a lower stance. He comes out very tall, which is good going against, for different things, and for different fighters and different styles, but against a guy is probably going to try and take you down. Lower your stance or widen your legs. That way, for one, you have an early defense for the takedowns, right? You're not just having to use your footwork or having to immediately down block to defend these takedowns, but your stance helps you defend these takedowns. Two, Dricus lacks throwing uppercuts. He doesn't throw many uppercuts, so having that lower stance isn't going to put you in much danger. If anything, it's going to save you from some of the straight shots and hooks that he's going to be throwing, while also protecting you from the takedowns and letting you get more power off. I think he should approach this one similar to the way he did the Imavov fight. If you guys don't remember that, when he fought Imavov, like it was outside, like on the street, he buckled down, he lowered his stance. Imavov likes to grapple as well. He's more of a sniper as well, so he made it like a brawl, right? He made it like a bar fight. He lowered his stance. He was swinging overhands and hooks and things like that. And I think ridge hands and overhands and slipping your head off will all help in trying to take out Dricus Du Plessis. So again, for Dricus, his keys to victory would be to use the feints, set up his hands with his kicks, and in those car crashes that he likes so much, to look for his takedowns at the end of them, similar to the way he did against Tavares. And for Sean Strickland, his keys to victory would be to lower his stance, to fight similar to the way he did in the Imavov fight with those overhands and hooks, just to switch it up and to help with his lower stance. And then three, also to prioritize the teeps and the straight kicks. If he could throw a side kick to the knee, that'll also help, but prioritizing that teep. I know he has one bad leg, his right leg is bad, but using that teep to stop those blitzes from Dricus Du Plessis and maybe even tax his system a little bit are going to help Sean Strickland in getting this one done. However, who do I think is going to win? I think Dricus is a more well-rounded fighter. I think Sean, he's able to dictate the pace against people who don't have that one-shot knockout power, or who are maybe a little bit fearful of getting hit. I think whenever he fights someone like a Cannonier, or Alex Pereira, or Dricus Du Plessis, a guy who is willing to take some shots in order to give one, especially because Sean Strickland doesn't have the most power in his shots, I think that he's a little less willing to come forward, a little less able to dictate the pace, and he's fighting a little bit more reactionary. And I think that in this fight, if he's reacting to Dricus Du Plessis, that's going to be his fall. I think Dricus is going to be able to take him down a few times. Whether he's able to get back up, we have yet to see, but I know when he does get back up, he'll probably have taken some damage by then. But guys, let me know your thoughts. My official prediction is going to be Dricus Du Plessis for this, and hopefully we get to see Adesanya fight him soon. If you guys follow the channel, you know we're big Adesanya fans over here. But guys, thank you for stopping by today. Thank you for watching the video. Stay tuned for the rest of the videos on the channel to be coming to you. We do breakdowns like this for every single card. So guys, let me know your thoughts. If you want to support the content, give this video a thumbs up and leave your thoughts down below. And